And the topic of this week mission report is wake up call. You ever sleeping and you just suddenly get out of your jump out of your sleep for no reason at all? Huh? Yes. Sometimes I am sleeping and I just jump out of my sleep and I'm wondering, am I working today or not? Or where am I? And sometimes I'm sleeping and it's like I hear, when you're in the hospital, sometimes and the patient ring the call bell or whatever. Sometimes I'm sleeping and I hear like the call bell go off and I jump up, you know? So now the story is about Marissa, and she had a wake-up call. Marissa suddenly wake up 2:30 in the morning, and she had no reason to get up because she didn't really want to go to the bathroom, but she was wondering what's going. So she said to herself, you know what? Since I'm up, I might as well go to the bathroom. So she went to the bathroom and then she came back. But on her way back from the bathroom, she saw like a little yellow light, out the window. When she opened the door and looked, the building was on fire. So she turned to the door now and to open the door, thinking about the first thing you're going to run, get out of the apartment, And she was on the third floor. So she opened the door down, thinking to run out. But when she opened the door, it was smoke. So she had to lock back the door. She had 2 dogs, one named Maggie and one named Daisy. So, the dogs were curled up in a corner. Sometimes dogs can sense that something's not going right. So they curl up in a corner. So by the time she said, Maggie, Daisy, they run and they came to her in such a fright. So she was wondering what she was going to do now. But anyway, she opened back the window, and the window was facing a park. And there's a lot of homeless people that sleep in the park. Then, they saw the smoke from the there. So the run came over. One homeless man, he was so macho, he decided to take everything in his hand. He was giving direction and whatever, telling them, go knock that door, let the people know to wake up because the place is on fire. And they were knocking doors and calling to everybody, the place is on fire, you need to get out. So she called to one of them, the one that looked like he was directing everybody, and said, help, I'm up here. How do I get out? He said, well, the only thing you can do, you have to go jump. So she said, but I have 2 dogs with me. She said, you have to go throw them through the window. So anyway, she picked up one dog and she threw him through the window. And he rushed over to the park. She picked up the other dog and she threw him through the window and she rushed over to the park. So she said, I am still here. Him said, the only way you have to go jump. So she jumped out the window to the 2nd floor, and then from the 2nd floor, she dropped to the ground. But she got a little scratch and bruises, but it's better than being burned. And then she even sprained one of her ankles. And she didn't even pay that any mind. All her concern was about finding Maggie and Daisy. So the first thing she get up in, she was wondering where the dogs were. And somebody said they run over to the park. So she went over to the park and she was there calling. And she couldn't find them. So she called her brother. Our brother is a sound sleeper, And when you call him, she says, a matter of fact, she think about calling her brother, but she realized her phone was left in the apartment. So she borrowed a phone. And, the brother's number was the only number she could remember. So she called the brother and she said, boy, this don't look good enough. Because you see, when it comes to my brother, he's a hard sleeper, right? So anyway, she said, I'm going to still call him. And guess what? When she called him, he picked up the phone at the second ring. And she said, boy, this must be God. So she told him what was happening. And he came over. And she said, I can't find the dog. So anyway, they decided to walk around and call the dog's name and everything. Finally, one of the dogs turned up. Daisy turned up. But she couldn't find Maggie. So everybody was excited because everybody in the area knew the dogs and knew about her. So everybody now was looking for the dog. News reporter came and everybody was looking, trying to find the dog. Anyway, she did the brother now, he decided to comb another neighborhood, and when he there calling, guess what? There comes the dog. And when the news reporter heard that the dogs were found, oh, they came over because they wanted to see the expression on her face and everything. You know, when you lost something and you lost somebody, all the excitement, they want to get all of that on the news. So anyway, she remembered her calling because she was one of those that was working the prison, juvenile prison, as a correctional officer that worked with the youth, you know, and because of COVID, she was out of work for a time. And this fire, because of the fire, everything came back to her and said, I need to go back to my calling, that I had promised God to work with these youth and to bring them to Christ. So she went back to the Seventh-day Adventist Indian school, to the girls' dormitory, and she decided to work with them and to bring them to Christ. And she said, I couldn't be happier because I can't imagine doing something. So sometimes you get some wake-up call, you know, that bring you back to things, you know. Because of that wake-up call, she was able to go back and to teach those girls to wait the way of the Lord. And that's the story for this morning. And we are going to